Everybody all set? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Gramiccioni. I'm the Monmouth County Prosecutor. I'm sad to report that we've had an incident here that remains under investigation. Around 12:38, the county dispatch received a call for a structure fire on Willow Grove Road in Colts Neck here in town. There was a response, a large fire and police response, and that continues as I stand here today. Unfortunately, we have confirmed that there are 4 fatalities that were found to be at the home. It's 2 adults and 2 children. We are still investigating the cause and manner, and unfortunately the fire, because it is still ongoing, it's creating some challenges for our investigation. But a number of ladders, more than 20 fire departments continue to work to suppress and extinguish that fire, and we're going to continue our investigation once that scene is released. I don't have any information I can provide on identity of these individuals. The medical examiner has arrived, and the medical examiner has to examine the remains of these 4 before we can get to that point. So information will continue to come out from our office. I would just encourage you to stay tuned, following us on Facebook and Twitter, and we probably have something more tomorrow. I am joined by a number of officials here. My Chief of Detectives, John McCabe. I'm happy to have his support and assistance in this matter, as his entire staff, and members of the Colts Neck Police Department, led by Acting Chief Frank Lucchese. And then, of course, I have Mayor J.P. Bartolomeo and other town officials that have been working with us since the beginning of this. I have heard reports about the possibility of 5 fatalities. I'd like to disabuse anyone of that notion at this point. Right now, we know 4 and 4 alone, and we're going to continue this investigation. You can imagine it's quite fluid. It's been ongoing for just a little over 4 hours. And a word about any risk or danger to the community. It's important to emphasize that we have no reason to believe that the community is in any danger at this point in time. And if that changes, there's 47 police departments that operate across our 53 municipalities in Monmouth County that stand ready and willing to make sure we convey information to the public seamlessly and quickly. But that is not the case at this point in time. We are investigating this as an arson, an intentional fire, but I have nothing further in terms of investigating the fatalities that I can provide at this time. So with that, I'll turn it over to Acting Chief Lucchese. I said Lucchese, but it's Lucchese, and then we'll try to answer any questions you guys might have. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I just want to put it out there that I want to thank all the responding assets with over 20 members of the fire districts in the county, our EMS people, Colts Neck and Homedale, and especially to the officers that responded to this fire who were on scene when this thing was reported.
Thank you.
Chris?
Brian, what's happening?
Can you say whether or not somebody is in custody for the attempted arson of a house at 27 Tilton Road in Ocean Township this morning?
No, I can't comment on that. We are investigating that arson. I'm sure one of the questions that many of you in the media have is it related to the one that's ongoing right now? That remains to be seen, but that is an option or an angle that we continue to pursue. So I don't have anything further for you at this point in time.
You cannot confirm somebody is in custody?
Not at this point in time.
But there is an arson at that location?
Yes. Not an arson, I'm sorry, a fire, a structure fire. Arson is an intentional fire. Whether we're calling it that at this point in time, I can't get there. It's something that we're investigating, but just got to stay tuned.
Do you think it could be?
You know, in my business, it's never a good thing to speculate. That's why we do these investigations, but we are considering that as an option for us. Yes,
Can you please, Chris, can you please tell us, you have 4 people who are dead, 2 adults and 2 children. Where were their bodies found?
There was one body that was found out front of the home. The other 3 were recovered from inside the home, and unfortunately they were burned severely as a result of the fire that they were exposed to. So that's making things somewhat challenging with the medical examination that needs to ensue. But just stay tuned, we'll get there.
Can I follow up on that, Chris?
Sure.
Was a gun found next to the body outside the home?
I can't confirm or deny it, I'm sorry.
Is the body outside?
Was the body outside the home evident of that there been a victim of a gunshot wound, either self-inflicted or from another?
No, I can't confirm or deny that at this point in time. But remember, the medical examiner just arrived. We make it a practice in law enforcement not to disturb the remains before the medical examiner gets there, so we haven't had a chance to really see what's recovered off that person's body.
It didn't look like it had been shot?
couldn't comment on it either way, I'm sorry.
Could you tell us if it was a man or a woman in the yard?
The person that was found out front is a man.
What challenges are the firefighters having with water supply? This is a well community.
None that I'm aware of.
Well, I mean, the fire's still burning.
Yes.
And you see tanker trucks coming in. Has it been an issue with trying to get the fire out? So you guys can do your investigation.
Well, yeah, the fire continues to burn. We're trying to get it out, but in terms of if you're referring to some kind of water shortage, I have no reason to believe that's the case here. So it's still ongoing. And as soon as they release that scene, they'll turn it over to us, and we'll be able to go in there. And we're investigating now, but we're doing so with the assistance of the fire department under their supervision, because we have to obviously worry about investigator safety as well.
Are all 4 bodies of the same family?
I can't confirm that at this point in time. I'm sorry. I'm aware that the people who own that home, but I can't go that far at this point in time because the medical examiner just arrived, and we'll just have to wait for that.
Had there been law enforcement activity at this home in the past?
None that I'm aware of.
I want to follow up on that. Chief, are you aware of any domestic violence calls at that house or any?
I'm not aware of anything.
Not aware of anything at that house.
And the fire in Ocean, you said is not, you can't confirm if it's related at this time?
I can't, not at this point in time. We're investigating that as a possibility, but it would be irresponsible for me to speculate at this early point in time. That one started around 8 this morning. This call came in at 12:38 this afternoon. Things have been moving very quickly, but we will certainly keep the public and the media up to date on any developments.
Can you say where the family is, or from the Tilton address? Was anybody injured in the fire? Were they all safe? Have they been evacuated?
The one in Ocean, I'm not aware of any injuries or anything like that.
Are you aware of the location of the owners of the Willowbrook Road?
I can't comment on that right now, Art, I'm sorry. And I'm aware that both of those homes that we're talking about, they're owned under public records by common family members. I would just encourage the media and the public to not get carried away until there's reason to believe whether that might be linked or not. It's important not to do that until there's an objective reason to do so. So just let us do our investigation. I feel like we're pretty good at it. We're in good hands with the Colts Neck PD, with my investigators, and we'll surely be sharing information as it comes with the public.
Do you know what part of town, Ocean that fire was at? Was it Wayside, Oakhurst?
Chief, you want to answer that? I can get you that answer afterwards, Alex.
Wayside? Okay.
Thank you.
In terms of the fire operation here, how many firefighters were involved, and what kind of general challenges had they been facing in a fire of this magnitude?
Well, there was more than 20 fire departments that responded, including Naval Weapons Station Earl's Fire Department, one of the earliest ones that arrived. The challenge is obviously that it's burning, and so it's difficult to go in there and try to recover. It was difficult to try to recover remains when there's potential risk of the roof falling in and things like that. But they're on top of it. There was one firefighter who was injured in a fall, but I'm told that she is going to be fine. And as far as I know, there hasn't been any other injuries or casualties.
Which fire company was that firefighter from?
I'm not going to say. Sorry.
Thank you, Chris.
All right. Anybody else have any questions? Thanks for your time, everyone. Have a good day.
Is there going to be another briefing or press conference?
We're gonna follow up tomorrow, and obviously everything's driven by how the investigation goes. But my hope is that we'll get you something tomorrow morning. You know, not well late in the day, because I realize it's the day before Thanksgiving. So, but the last thing I should say is, if anybody has any information about this incident, or even the one in Ocean, I'd really encourage you to call the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office or call the Colts Neck Police Department. Even if your tip is small or secondhand, any little bit can constitute a piece of the puzzle that might make things come into a clearer picture. So any help the public and the media can provide is truly appreciated. All right, thank you all very much. Have a good evening.
Thanks, Chris.
Sure.